People are masturbating more in quarantine. An Indian man buys 28 tons of onions and drives 869 miles disguised as an onion seller to beat the lockdown. Manhole cover thieves may get death sentences in China. This is Weird AF News. These are the weird stories from around the world that I got for you today on Monday. This is the only daily weird news podcast hosted by a comedian. I love the Weird AF News crowd. I'm glad you're here joining me today in your little isolation. Let's do the stories. I hope I make you laugh. Maybe you learn something. What are you guys doing while quarantined? Maybe touching yourself? This article says that people are masturbating more in quarantine, and they have the stats to back it up. Suffice to say, people have a lot more time on their hands these days, and many of those hands are keeping themselves occupied with one activity in particular. And I'm not talking about sourdough baking, although that is something that's happening. I don't know if you guys have been to a grocery store lately, but you cannot buy flour because everybody and their grandmother are baking right now. I don't know why that's such a popular activity, but apparently it is. No one's baked me any bread, by the way. If you guys want to bake me some bread and send it to me, I would love to try some homemade bread. I'll give you my address. I can't find flour to make it myself. Not that I have the skills to make homemade bread anyways, but I mean, it's something I could have tried at least. But no, can't find any flour anywhere. It's harder to find flour than it is toilet paper. For very obvious reasons, people are masturbating more than usual right now. This is what the article says. And if the spike in sex toy sales, searches for homemade sex toys, and rampant displays of internet horniness weren't enough evidence, a new survey has the numbers to prove it. According to the new survey from Trojan, 36% of young adults between the ages of 18 and 24 say they've been masturbating more since social distancing began, meaning quarantine masturbation is almost as popular as quarantine baking, which has seen a 37% increase in popularity. How many people, I'm wondering, are masturbating using the bread that they baked? That could be a thing. Have you ever made sweet love to sourdough? Well, the New York City Health Department has advised that we are all our own safest sex partners. Many quarantine masturbators have found creative ways to safely incorporate some partners, with 19% of young adults reporting that they've masturbated with someone virtually while in lockdown, while nearly half of those mutual masturbators enjoyed a remote session with a significant other. 25% have done it with someone that they met online during the outbreak. 21% have recycled an ex, because desperate times call for desperate measures. Yeah, you might call up somebody who you really shouldn't, and you do. Meanwhile, a remote partner isn't the only thing people are masturbating with. While the Trojan survey found that more men than women are contributing to the quarantine masturbation spike, women are much more likely than men to be using sex toys, with 15% of women reportedly using sex toys or vibrators compared to just 6% of men, which frankly is deeply sad. The article says, it's deeply sad. Men, please go buy yourselves a sex toy. You can thank me later. I don't know about that. Of course women are using sex toys. Men don't masturbate with sex toys. It's very rare. Any of you men out there masturbating with a sex toy? I don't. And I never had the idea to do so. Maybe I'm missing out on a whole world of, masturbation with a sex toy for men. I mean, I don't know. I guess I'm open to it, but, but this is not something I've done before. Am I sharing too much? Yeah, probably. I should shut up. The article ends by saying, while this pandemic may have put a damper on our sex lives, it's clearly done wonders for our sex lives with ourselves. We may all be getting off alone, but at least we're getting off alone together. Yeah, I think having sex or touching yourself is a wonderful way to spend the quarantine, really. If you're lucky enough to be quarantined with someone that you enjoy being with and you enjoy being naked with, then you are supremely lucky. Consider yourself super lucky right now. Maybe you're quarantined with 3 or 4 people that you really enjoy being naked with. Well, then you're living in a paradise right now, I'd imagine, right? You just get a pizza delivered, maybe some sex toys delivered, and then, you make a pot of coffee, and then you just spend all afternoon getting to know each other in the best way possible. The best quarantine naked activities you can come up with, maybe you're using some sort of some sort of game that you've created to make it even more interesting. I'd imagine people are getting creative with the people that they're getting naked with during this quarantine because it's been a long time, many weeks. And let me end this piece by saying, guys, don't be shy. Don't be shy. Enjoy yourself during this quarantine, even if it means you're all alone. Hey, so be it. An Indian man buys 28 tons of onions and drives 869 miles disguised as an onion seller in order to beat the lockdown. What a plan this guy had. I am so blown away by this Indian man. In an attempt to reach home during India's strict coronavirus lockdown, a man traveled more than 800 miles, disguised as an onion seller, only to be sent to quarantine by the local police after reaching his destination. Oh, the poor guy. According to police, Prem Murti Pandey, an employee at Mumbai's airport, loaded up a truck with 28 tons of onions and traveled 1,400 kilometers from Mumbai to his home in Prayagraj, northern India. Prayagraj? Hope I said that correctly. Pandey told the media, "I was stuck in Mumbai. Given the number of cases being reported in the city, I was scared, and hence I had no option but to return home. So Pandey decided to rent a truck, hire a driver, and disguise himself. He said, "We bought the onions from a vegetable market near Mumbai, and using the excuse of produce delivery, we crossed 3 states to finally reach home on Friday after traveling for 3 days. India's lockdown rules allows vehicles delivering food items to cross state borders. Pandey was sent to quarantine after his actions surfaced on Saturday," a senior police official reported. The police added, "He has not shown any symptoms of coronavirus, but he has been kept in a quarantine center as a precautionary measure for 2 weeks." This is the article ends there. There's no more information. I don't know what kind of onions that he's traveling with. I don't know what he paid for the onions. I mean, this guy, 28 tons of onions. I mean, that must be very costly. I don't know what the going rate for a ton of onions is, but this guy probably spent some thousands of dollars just to get home. And this is way more of an effort than just dressing up as a bush or wearing a T-Rex costume and leaving your house to get somewhere. This is one of the most complicated, sophisticated plans to get home that I've ever heard of. I mean, especially during the quarantine. I mean, you really got to love this guy's gusto and his inventiveness. I mean, for sure. Pretending he's an onion salesman. What do you even know about onions? What if they popped him some questions about onion sales or the onion market? I mean, he would have to answer them on the spot and pretend like he knows what he's talking about. Yes, the onion sales are great. We're up 3%. And what's the name of these onions back there? These are called purple onions, I think. Right? Purple onions, right, Daryl? Not that anybody in India would be named Daryl, but for the sake of that story, yes, a Daryl was in there. I feel like they should have let this guy go, if we're being honest, right? If I'm being honest. Just from the effort alone. I mean, yeah, sure, test him and see if he's sick or not, but then let him go home. I mean, if you really want to go home that badly that you pretended to be a produce salesman and rented a truck and bought tons of produce, then I'll tell you what, this is what you do. You trade the onions for his freedom. If I'm the police department, right? I'll take your onions and then you get to go. Next thing you know, I got 28 tons of onions to work with in India, and you could do a lot with onions. I just love this story. I love people that have gone above and beyond to do something extremely weird, something way out of their comfort zone to achieve something as simple as just going home. I mean, you got to give it up for this guy, really.
Something strange in the neighborhood. Who you gonna call? JONESY!
You like podcasts? You're listening to my podcast. Maybe you thought to yourself, I'd like to make a podcast. Too difficult. No, not with Anchor. Anchor has free creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer. Anchor distributes your podcast to Apple, Spotify, Stitcher, and more. They have advertising integration, so you can even make a little money off your podcast. Everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And good luck with your podcast. Good luck with your creation. Good luck with your life, man. Manhole cover thieves may get death sentences in China. China's top judicial bodies have introduced strict punishments for those who remove or damage manhole covers, with the maximum sentence being the death penalty. This is outrageous. I didn't know stealing or damaging manhole covers was such a hobby anywhere. China's Supreme People's Court issued a joint statement instructing courts to penalize people more strictly if they have been found to steal or damage manhole covers. The statement said that the removal or destruction of manhole covers was sufficient for people to get charged with either endangering transportation or endangering public safety. I guess that's true because a vehicle could fall into the manhole and a person could as well. What are you doing stealing manhole covers, though? I'm just very curious. What What do you get out of that? Are these manhole covers worth money or something? I'd never heard of such a thing. There's manhole covers all over the place. Do I need to get down to business and take some of these manhole covers to pay for my bills while I'm out of work? I mean, I'm not above stealing manhole covers and selling them on eBay. I really am. I'll turn them into art. Okay, I'll paint a face on them, or a private part of some sort. They'll be dirty. Who wants to buy my manhole cover? That's a terrible idea. The maximum penalty for both of these charges in China is the death sentence. They're taking it very seriously in China. A senior official at China's highest agency responsible for prosecution explained this move, saying, manhole covers are often ignored, but they very much relate to people's lives, personal safety, and property security. Stealing or destroying a manhole cover cannot be just identified as committing crimes of theft or destroying property. Instead, the offenders should be given harsher punishments. Removing a manhole cover is sufficient to overturn or destroy a car or a tram or a trolley. This is very true. A whole truck could go off the rails, a bus or something, and people could be killed. This is very, very serious. I didn't know people were taking manhole covers. This seems strange to me. By the way, they're very heavy. How do you just jack a manhole cover without anybody seeing it? According to China Daily, there were more than 70 injuries or deaths due to broken or stolen manhole covers between 2017 and 2019. That's 70 injuries or death in 2 years in China, where there's billions of people. I don't see the big deal there. With that, I mean, that's very few deaths. Do you really have to give the death penalty for this? I feel like your effort should go somewhere else, China. Maybe. All right, I'm not going to say it. Some people have attempted to steal manhole covers in order to sell them for scrap metal, apparently. Oh, I didn't know that. China Daily notes that there has also been a problem with taxi drivers removing manhole covers to steal water and clean their vehicles. Well, that's bizarre. What an effort you would go to clean your vehicle, taking a manhole cover. By the way, how do you clean your vehicle? Is there water down there that you just scoop out? I'm so confused with this whole manhole situation. Social media users say that people in the central province of Henan have gained such a reputation at a national level for this behavior. They once called these people manhole maniacs. What are you manhole maniacs out there? What are you stealing manholes for? This is bizarre behavior. It's like stealing trash bins from the park or something. I just don't get it. What do you? Can someone clue me in on why you would do such a thing? Oh man, I'm looking at a photo of this what looks like an Asian man poking his head out of a manhole cover. By the way, these manhole covers in China, they don't look as heavy as the ones here in the States. Maybe they're easy to steal. I have no idea. Anybody living in China can attest to what's going on over there with these manhole covers. I love it. I love how I tried to find a story that wasn't coronavirus related, and here we are. It's a story about manhole covered thieves. This is just ridiculous. But hey, it's weird. It's weird, and for once we could forget about the coronavirus. Hey guys, I know there's a pandemic out there, but did you also know that people are stealing manhole covers? It's just another thing to freak out about. If you like podcasts, check out Spotify. You can listen to all your favorite artists and podcasts in one place for free. You don't even need a premium account. Spotify has a huge selection of podcasts on every topic, including this one that you're listening to right now. And you can easily share what you're listening to with friends on Instagram as well. So download the Spotify app, search for your favorite podcast, and also make sure to follow Weird AF News and never miss an episode. Yes, download Spotify and make your life easier. Hey, what's up, weirdos? This is Jonesy. Thanks for listening to another episode of Weird AF News. Please subscribe and tell a friend. That would be super helpful. I think word of mouth is the best way to spread something that you like. People trust you, they'll give it a try. People are in lockdown right now, they're bored, they want to listen to something new, like a podcast. Maybe they've never heard a podcast before. Tell them about it. Say, hey, yeah, Weird AF News, give it a try. I hope you enjoyed the Florida Friday stories, and I want to thank everybody who sent me Florida stories. Very, very helpful. I enjoyed that. Hope you enjoyed your weekend. Hope you're safe. I want to give a shout out to Jeff, who became a patron over the weekend. Super, super grateful for Jeff. Jeff, thank you for joining the Patreon. We love you, Jeff, at Weird AF News. Yeah. I hope you're safe, Jeff, and I hope you're enjoying in your isolation some of the extra content that's on the Weird AF News Patreon, such as the bonus episode I uploaded last night. Yeah, that's right. Another hour of Weird AF News, all COVID related, recorded with my friend comedian Dave Neal. Yeah, Dave and I just just went. We finally got together, by the way, in person to record this. So I'm taking risks for you guys in the Patreon. You see what I'm saying? I'm getting together with somebody. We did sit 6 feet apart, of course, and you know. But getting together right now is risky. I did so because, you know what, I needed him to come over and record this bonus episode with me. It's not the same doing it remotely, which we tried. We tried to do it on Skype, and it was okay, but I really loved it in person. It's just great. So enjoy that episode, Jeff, and thanks for joining the Patreon. You guys can join as well. Patreon.com/weirdafnews. I got a lovely crew on there, and we're all keeping each other company. Company. I think I tried to combine company with comfort, and I made up my own word there. Wow, am I dumb? Okay, the other thing I'm doing in the Patreon is I'm recommending something to watch or listen to or read every week to help you out when you're isolated. Something weird. For instance, last week I posted a documentary that I watched that was really weird and cool, and I'm going to post something else today. So, yeah, so that's something cool I'm doing. I'm trying to just keep it active in there, you know? I know you guys are like, some of you are just kind of hungry for more content and something weird, and so I'm trying to provide that in there, and you guys can take advantage of that. Take advantage of that at the Patreon. Patreon.com/weirdafnews. Check it out. Also, follow me on Instagram at FunnyJones, on Twitter at FunnyJones, and on Facebook, Comedian Jonesy. Or you can check out the Weird AF News Facebook page as well. It exists. Appreciate you guys. I'm going to publish a couple calls after this. Thanks for reaching out to me over the weekend on the phone, those of you who did. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the birthday wishes as well. Much love. I'll see you tomorrow.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Jonesy. Hey there, weirdos. Guess what today is? April 27th, and that means it's Jonesy's birthday. That's right. Jonesy's having another birthday. Another year older, another year wiser, another year weirder. So, everyone should call in and wish Jonesy a happy birthday. Then maybe tomorrow he'll play all of his birthday wishes at the end of the show. So make them short, make them brief, make them weird, make them wonderful. Everyone call in and leave a short message for Jonesy wishing him a happy birthday. Just say who you are, where you're from, and then make your birthday wish to him. Oh, and while you're at it, think about calling in, joining the Patreon. Support him financially. Give him a quick donation on his PayPal, on his Venmo. Contact him on his Gmail or on his Instagram or his Twitter, and make a one-time donation to Jonesy for his birthday. You know, he's not working. The comedy shows are canceled. So support him financially in some other way. Call him up. Ask him for his address. I'm sure he'd like to have you send you something to wish him well. You know, he's in a new apartment now. He's got a new address. I'm sure he'd give it to you so you could send him a little care package or a little birthday package. So everyone, just wish Jonesy well and support him in any way you can, whether it's letting someone know about his show, his podcast, or support him with well wishes, support him financially during these difficult times. Happy birthday, Jonesy, from the Weird AF family. We all love you and wish you the best. Take care, buddy. Happy birthday.
Now, Jonesy, the majority of the people out on the Florida beaches have probably had 2 to 7 drinks. So if you're out there swimming and you're having a good time and you're a little lackadaisical, your eyeballs are busting out, and you just come up out of a nice surf and you look up and you see the Grim Reaper, oh, hell, man. What you gonna do? What you gonna do when the Grim Reaper runs rampant over you? You gonna run? You gonna run for your car? You gonna run for your mask? Yeah, I don't know, man. I just think it's stupid to go to the damn beach, man. Don't do it. What in the wide world of full contact sports is President T. Rump talking about? Oh my goodness. Now, I have to admit, man, I am a Floridian, so I am not supposed to talk negatively towards T. Rump. But, man, he said inject Lysol. or bleach, or maybe not bleach. I ain't gonna put words in his mouth, but he definitely said inject Lysol and then look for some confirmation from some people that be standing next to him, like they're like, oh shit, man, I thought you had it under control. No, man, no. Look, man, we're from Florida. I mean, the beaches are open. Don't go. There's some shit going on. I'm sorry. I don't mean to curse, Jonesy. I'm getting out of control. Listen, I only got about 20 seconds to make my point clear. Don't inject Lysol, you dumbass.